Mincha is going to be at 8 o'clock. Today's learning is Ilui Nishmat Rosa Bat Tamara Matato, sponsored by Ilan Matatov. The halakha we're going to discuss today is a little bit sophisticated, so it's going to take a few days to explain it from the beginning to the end. We'll mention the halakha and we'll start with explaining it. Shulchan Aruch writes, a goy that makes bread for his own purpose, either to sell to other goyim or for himself. He makes this bread on Shabbat. Is it mutar for a Jew to come in and sort of say to the goy, listen, I know you made this for yourself. I need bread for Shabbat. You give this to me. I'll compensate you after Shabbat. Is it mutar for a Jew to essentially buy bread that a goy made on Shabbat, not for the sake of the Jew? If he made it for the sake of the Jew, there's nothing to talk about, because that's for sure asur for him to benefit from it. But if he made it for his own sake, isn't mutar. So Maran writes down, yesh oserim v'yesh matirim. There are those that prohibit and those that permit, meaning there's a disagreement in the authorities. Ubimakom shata dahak, and place of great need, or makom mitzvah, or a place of a mitzvah, one could be lenient. Meaning, translation, Maran doesn't hold that you could be lenient stam just because the goy made it for himself. You need a case of a need in order for it to be permitted. So the question is, what's a case of a need, and why are there authorities that hold this mutar, and why are there authorities that hold that asur? So really, we'll start with the discussion. One of the explanations for why it would be asur is because of muktzeh. If the goy is making bread on Shabbat, what does it mean to make bread? It means you have to take flour. Now, flour is something that is muktzeh on Shabbat. If you own flour on Shabbat, it would be muktzeh, because there's nothing to do with flour except for make bread. You don't eat flour as it is. So it's true, it's a food, but it's not an edible food. And therefore, flour as is muktzeh on Shabbat. And if so, when the goy makes the bread, he's essentially taking something muktzeh and making something that is not muktzeh. And we have a rule, whatever started off Shabbat as being muktzeh retains its status of muktzeh, even though now in its new form it's not muktzeh. So therefore, some authorities hold the reason that it's prohibited is not because of amira legoy, it's not because you told the goy or the goy did it for you, but rather for the simple reason of muktzeh. Tomorrow we'll see why there are poskim that disagree and say there's no issue of muktzeh in this case, and also a second explanation why Maran held it was asur.